claims everything is expected to straight. It's like it seems John Wayne.
My name is Paul James. I host this news every morning.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome to the East-West Show. Jack Chow is hosting with the East-West, which is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry with 400 years of glorious history and handforged by 10 generations of the number one master craftsman on the global earth. Together, the name of Wolfers stands as a testimony to the spectacular and the share of royal glory. To the show. Today with me is my dear friend, a person of philosophy, a person of constitution, the way I look at him. Also a writer, a wonderful CPA who earns the top money all his life. And he drives numbers of cars, different cars. Beautiful number one Class A cars, all earning by himself. I admire, all right? Don't laugh at me like that.
No, I'm laughing at me because right now, all those nice cars, I'm on food stamps. A lot of money.
Yeah, you chose to do that.
Yeah.
You sold them
Yeah.
right, for better money. All right, anyway. And on top of that, he's a writer himself. His book, Life is Simple, 100 Words to Live By, has always been, ever since birth, my Bible, and I learn from it still these days. Welcome back to the show.
You know how honored I am that Wolfers believes in us, Jack, to sponsor us. I'm to be with you and learn from your intellect and your body of knowledge, and to share what we have with your readers, who I adore, every single one. Wish I could hug everybody.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You don't have to scratch my back, but I feel good.
It's just the truth.
I feel good.
It's not a scratch.
And this is our bi-weekly update, right? It is all because that the things are happening so much, so fast. Bi-weekly update is not enough. Mm-hmm. That's why we decided to do it in a compact way. We inserted it next week.
Yes.
To make it a 1 week apart for 1 week or 2 weeks to see how it works.
There's so much happening on planet Earth.
Much.
So much happening, all of which are major.
So much is so important.
And impacts on individual people.
Right.
It must be discussed.
First, we want to probably talk about the Wuhan virus.
Yes.
That has been the top line, top of all the subjects, because if you want to choose anything more serious, more devastating than the virus, though, you choose none.
Well, that's true. Now, fortunately, the fatality rate for the virus is not huge, okay? It's 3, 2, whatever, because there's so many people that have the virus, Jack, but they're not sick enough to even go to a hospital, so nobody knows that they had it. So we have no idea what the denominator is, okay, the number of people.
First, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
There's a saying that people do not feel comfortable when you name the virus the Wuhan virus. So what's your comment on that?
That's their problem. I mean, it came out of China in the area of Wuhan, a very lovely area. And some of the people that don't like our president or try to oppose him, they say, oh, that's a racist comment or something. It's not. There's white people in there, there's black people, there's everybody else, Latinos in Wuhan. It has nothing to do, it's just a location. And so just like you said earlier, we bombed Hiroshima. Well, that's the city we bombed, okay, in World War II. So it's meaningless, and it's only used for kind of evil purposes to try to demean our country. And what the nice thing about what we've done, I believe what we're doing is well, because we've learned about it January 7th, about the existence of the virus. On the 31st, President Trump said, no more coming from China. That has had a big impact and saved a lot of people.
Let's
I'll slow
stay
down.
on the naming issue a little bit.
No problem.
You know where I stand, right? I was born in China.
Yes, sir.
China is my motherland.
And I love it.
I love it. like I love my own mother.
Right.
Right?
I agree.
However, I do not agree with the fact that people feel uncomfortable with the name of Wuhan.
I know.
Used as a geographic location.
Well, it is.
Right?
It is a
Okay, now,
geographic. That's all
Look,
it is.
If you flip off this layer, though,
Yeah.
you'll find out that below, somebody are creating discrimination by using this opportunity.
I totally, I
Do you-
totally
do-
did.
do
No,
you
I
think
don't
you agree with me?
I can't possibly think of agreeing with that because it's just where it came from.
Yeah,
That's all.
it's just a name.
Like the
just a
soft
name.
polio. Yeah, it's just a name. It means nothing.
Like people used to take name of a place,
Yeah.
a year, right?
Yeah.
Or a name of a person to some events, some major events,
Sure.
right? Tokyo bombing,
Well, you have to have something to relate
Pearl
it to.
Harbor.
Yes.
Pearl Harbor event, right?
Yep.
So Pearl Harbor is a shame to Americans in history that we got back by Tokyo bombing.
Well, we had to.
Yes,
It's a war.
We had to, right?
They'd have
And
killed all of
yet-
us.
And yet, after that, the Pearl Harbor, the word Pearl Harbor, becomes only a name of the event.
Well,
I believe people, when people say Pearl Harbor bombing, they do not have the intention of humiliating
America.
Americans.
No, they had an intent of killing Americans.
That I know, but
To kill. Yeah.
be on the p-
Yeah,
be on the
I'm
same
with you.
page with me, please.
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about later in history. Even now, when we mention Pearl Harbor,
Mm-hmm.
we do not intend to humiliate anybody.
No.
We're just repeating
Oh, yeah.
an event.
The fact.
Where did it happen?
It happened.
Right?
That started
And the
World War
same
II.
thing. It happened in Wuhan,
Yes. That's all.
right?
Nothing negative. It's just a place.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like any other agreement.
Yes,
like
sir.
any other agreement, historical agreement signed.
Yes.
It is just a name.
It's just a name.
So, for conclusion, I would like to say, take it easy. And even my own folks, I want to tell them, take it easy.
Yeah.
And to us, to the world, it's just a name.
Just a name.
Just
Just
a
a
name.
locator, an indication of
For
location.
example, if you call it coronavirus, right now you know coronavirus is the one we're talking about in Wuhan, right?
Right, but if
Okay,
we-
say, what if 100 years later,
Right.
right? 1,000 years
You
later,
call it coronavirus, they'll never know where it came from.
you never know where it came from.
You're brilliant. That's
Right?
why I
Where it came
admire
from.
you.
And lately, I did a study that I went back to all the way to 430 BC.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, when
Yes, sir.
Athens plague occurred,
Yes.
all the way
Killed a lot.
to Constantinia,
Yes.
to Byzantine,
Right.
right, to Moscow Black Death,
Very serious. Very
Right.
serious.
to Milan
The plague, the Black Plague.
I found out everything was taken by the name of the place or the city
Sure.
or the country where it occurred.
Right. Just for identification
The
purposes.
Roman plague, about the Eastern Roman, the Western Roman,
Yeah.
right? And then during the war, when they were fighting, all of a sudden they don't have to fight because everybody died.
Everybody had the plague. Yeah.
Everybody had the plague.
Not good.
Well,
Not
so
good.
so that is named the Roman plague.
Yeah.
Right.
Very good
The
point.
Good
point.
The Black Death of Mexico.
Yes, sir.
Talking about the Black Death of Moscow. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
Of Moscow. Talking about the Black Death in Moscow. When people die on the street, there are so many. They stack up for 10 stacks, 10 layers
Oh, bodies.
of bodies.
Horrible.
All right,
It's because every life
and then
has value.
and then the king declares to give 5 gold pieces to get one to dig a hole to bury.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That kind of thing, and
Wow.
yet they could not find one because
Wow.
even burials are
They'll
dying.
die.
They
die.
all die.
I don't need money
Everybody
to die.
died.
Yeah.
And the government, the so-called government, took in a measure to knock or nail to the door to
Yeah.
seal it,
Yeah.
and write on the door, say, God bless, let them die. Something like
Well,
that.
it's all, yeah, I don't know what else. Sometimes there's nothing else you can
That's plague of Moscow.
Yeah.
So all named, I promise you, my dear friend, from 430 BC to all the way to 1855, the Yunnan plague. Yunnan.
do. Yes, sir.
Yunnan is place of China.
Okay.
Yunnan plague.
Yeah.
Right? It's all named by place where it happened.
Because history, you need to know the source of these global tragedies.
So academically, it helps researchers in the future
Oh, yeah.
to,
For sure.
to locate the problem where it was first started. So nothing wrong, my dear friend. Take it easy. Just to be generous-minded, please.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we pick up other issues. How about the stock price versus the gasoline price?
Good luck. Let's check it out.
All right, good.
Le bijou icône de Philippe Wolfers qui date de 1902. Il faut la regarder contre la lumière pour avoir toutes les couleurs de ce bijou qui est extraordinaire. Avec les opales, c'est un thème très à la mode, à la période Art Nouveau. On voit en argenterie, mais aussi en peinture. Et ça a à voir aussi quelque chose un peu symbolique. Un libellule, c'est très belle quand on la voit de loin, mais quand on l'approche, c'est comme un dragon en anglais. On dit un dragonfly.
C'est une des grandes figures de l'Art Nouveau. Et cette pièce, mieux que n'importe quelle autre, témoigne de sa virtuosité. L'opulence, le raffinement, les courbes et les couleurs, et puis le thème aussi, qui raconte une époque. Libellule a été réinterprétée, plus légère, mais c'est bien à son aïeul qu'elle fait référence, une pièce désormais accessible à tous, puisqu'elle est passée de la boutique au musée.
My name is Paul James. I host the news every morning.
And a golden angel award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences, my dear fellow citizens. Welcome back to the East-West Show that is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry with a 400 years old glorious history and hand-forged by 10 generations of #1 craftsman on the global earth. Together, the name of Wolfers stands as a testimony to the spectacular and the share of the royal glory. Back to the show. With me is my dear friend, my brother Ken, Hemming by the same mother, and philosopher, a man of constitution, and a Republican, of course. I have no problem with being Republican or Democrat. I'm talking about as long as you are a person of reason.
I'd like them all to be.
A person of rationality.
I would
You're
pray
okay.
for that.
You're okay, right? Okay,
Yeah.
now, we're doing our bi-weekly update, right? Next online of our talking list is the oil price versus the stock market versus everything.
See, this is interesting. They are separate issues, however, they are interrelated. The reason they're interrelated on the stock market, which, as I was driving here today, has been down 19.5% since we hit 29,500.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, if it
because
goes
once you go over 20, though,
it's a bear market.
you're in trouble.
And we've had, it's just reality, but we've had 11 years of a bull market, slow global market, very slow for the first 8. And then since President Trump came in, we've gone from 18,000 to 29,000. Now we're back about 24,000. But so it's and the interrelationship of it all is because Russia and Saudi Arabia are in a gas price war right now, and that which causes problems. Gas is way down into the 30s or something per gallon. And the problems are then the companies in the oil and gas industry, their stock is down, and so that's bringing the stock market down.
In other words, they're shooting their own food.
Well, Russia and Saudi Arabia are probably not purposely hurting America, but they are hurting America and they're aware of it. But they're also trying to hurt each other more.
But you know what? A fluctuation a little bit from
Yes, sir.
now and then. We're okay with it because we live with it.
We'll survive.
Right? We'll survive.
We always survive.
But you're not talking about a fluctuation of 25%.
No, well, I
That's
was
a
here.
killing point. That's a
I
killing
was
point.
here in 2008, alive in 2007 and 8, where the stock market was at 14,000. It went to 6,600. I lost 2 shirts in 3 pants. Okay,
Yeah, I know, but
it was bad,
I'm
but
talking
we
about-
survived too. We will survive because we're going into this, Jack, with probably the strongest economy we've had in America under our president.
First let's talk about the oil price, right?
Yes.
So
It was 50, now it's like 32 or something.
25%.
It's huge.
Of a free shopping.
Well, and it can change in an instant if Saudi Arabia does not increase by 25% their production of oil to force the price down. And if they and Russia, just because they both have huge reserves, ours are bigger. I mean, we're the biggest, but so they're fighting each other to harm each other's economy by forcing prices down. Now,
Next thing-
nobody wins.
Next thing, maybe the consumer wins.
Well, see, I like that.
You want to see gasoline price reflect the 25% of it dropping?
Well, it will, but here's what's going to happen. The people right now, like in the last year, people's incomes are up 3%. Hasn't happened in a long, long time. So the people can afford the gas right now. I think the negative impact, now there's millions, hundreds of millions of people driving cars, and so it goes down a little bit. But what happens when the gas price goes higher, where it's more difficult to pay for, people drive less. Look at how many miles we put on. That's not necessary.
No.
That's a true statement.
It wouldn't matter that much. Because
Not huge.
Because when we consumers always complain when we were at $2.50. We complain, wow! All of a sudden it got up to $2.50. Right?
I paid 32 cents when I was a teenager.
Yeah, and then to $3.50. We're still doing the same thing.
Complain.
Within range.
Right.
We complain. We consume. We complain. We consume. That's the thing. My question is that all of a sudden, when it was brought down to by 25%, though, are we going to see anything as a consumer to be beneficial?
It all depends on how long it's there in this price.
Okay,
But
it
see,
takes time.
Now another thing, because people are not flying as much overseas because of the virus, people are not going on the cruises as much because of that. So they're going to drive more miles in America to go on vacations and resorts and whatever in America. So in our country, we'll have more use of cars.
There's going to be more activities on the surface.
Yeah, I like that part.
Yeah, sure.
I do.
Sure.
But I don't want I don't want airlines hurt.
Automobile consumption will probably make it up, right?
Yeah, I think
And
the miles driven.
I know from the price of gasoline, from the price of petroleum to the price of gasoline, it takes time.
Well, and also the reality is
takes
we
time.
have about 3.5% unemployment, which means most people have a job. And most people that have a job, not everybody with a job can have a car, but a lot of people have cars, and then they can control how much they drive.
Next question: is the gasoline? Is the oil price dropping related with the virus?
I don't
Somehow?
think so.
No.
Somehow anything could be, but no, I don't think so. It's between Russia and Saudi Arabia, and they could just stop producing or produce more. What they're doing is producing more now, which forces the price down.
All right. But
Terribly.
On the board, though,
Yeah.
you see, especially big stock, such as iPhone,
Right.
drop like suicidal.
Well,
and the iPhone sales in China
oh, are they
dropped
wait?
about 60%.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. I believe you.
60%, 60.
Because they're not going to the stores.
No. People
They
are,
close stores
people are,
in China.
People are totally quarantined.
Yeah.
They are not going out, letting alone to go shopping.
Right,
and
right.
Let alone going shopping for an iPhone.
The only good thing about an iPhone is you can communicate with your friends by phone instead of face to face in touching each other. So that's a good thing.
Even
but-
the Chinese-made phones,
yeah, right.
such as Huawei,
Yes, sir.
such as Xiaomi,
Okay.
right? Those are down too, right?
Well, because the people
Now,
aren't in commerce.
How much,
They're not
how
out.
much is it hurting the U.S. economy?
Well, for the iPhone thing, factories have been closed over there that are making parts in iPhones because we've been foolishly, stupidly, without even realizing it or maybe realizing it, overly dependent on the supply chain of our products or pieces of our products coming from China because of greed. We want it cheaper. Way before, 10 years before Trump was elected, he said, why are we doing this, relying on China for everything? All they have to do, they could make it real hard on us, which now
And
it is.
sure enough, it comes out now as
Yeah,
a revenge,
and
right?
Not as a government attitude, but as the virus.
Without taking a stand, either China or United States or whoever,
Yeah.
for market strategy,
Right.
though, it is always better you are not putting all your eggs in one basket.
It's insane. 90% of our pharmaceutical products
Yes,
are
you
come from
mentioned that.
China. And that's,
Even the pharmaceutical supplies
speechless.
to India,
yes,
who produce the medicines,
yes.
are from China. And the pharmaceutical supplies to Taiwan are from China.
Yeah.
And the majority of pharmaceutical supplies to the United States are from China.
90%.
Now, when China, the
It's huge.
manufacturers stop,
Yeah.
right?
We're toast.
They're quarantined.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's a shortage
Right.
of pharmaceutical materials.
Yeah. And Apple is hurt very badly. You know, so I'd rather, you know, maybe this sounds good or bad, but we need to rely on American production. And
Big
maybe
or
it
small,
costs,
big or
maybe it
small,
costs a
yeah.
little bit more, but
Yeah,
then you buy
we want to learn.
all
Like-
can buy a little
like you
less.
said, we want to learn. We
I
learn
pray we
from
learn.
Past experiences.
And our president's
we
been
learn.
preaching that for,
Positively or negatively,
Long.
we learn. We always learn.
well, we're learning by
It
the
is always-
negative.
And China, same thing. For China, for example,
Right, on their exports.
If something happens with the United States, how about Brazil, right? How about Russia? How about elsewhere? For example, take soybean.
Yeah.
Soybean, for example. So you always have Plan B.
China's supposed to buy lots of soybeans from us.
Oh yeah, this year, starting
Yeah.
this year.
And I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I hope so. They need
well,
to eat too.
They are trying, and I wonder if they will consider the world, the international community, would consider that as force majeure.
Well, good question.
Yeah, could be.
Don't have an answer.
I could
Different
say,
people will think differently.
I could say in history, no country has faced such a big impact.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Because we
And
over-depended.
the world too.
Yeah.
And the world too. Probably if the international community would take it, would grant it as, okay, that's a force majeure.
Yeah.
Let every country work together to overcome the period of the dark days. That would be the best solution, instead of anybody squeezing onto anybody's
Right.
neck.
Let's hope for that.
All right, good. All right, thank you very much for the conclusion. We love peace, we love people, we love the world.
We do.
All right, we will be right back after this break, my dear friend.
Everything. We have to continue to work on it now.
My name is Paul James. I host English news every morning.
And the Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow on the East West with all of you. We're on our bi-weekly update with my dear friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, a philosopher, a man of constitution, and a strong-headed Republican, which I have no problem with. And you may be a strong-headed Republican, you may be a strong-headed Democrat, as long as you are a strong-headed person of reason, I'm okay.
I would only like to add that I only believe in the Constitution. I breathe for the Constitution. You know, if the Democratic Party came back to their senses and wanted to continue the Constitution as much as our president does, I would be. I'd vote for him.
That's your comment. That's your comment.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm not
Of
a
course.
blind Republican.
Whoever supports Constitution
Yeah,
is one of us. All
That's
right?
what I am.
Anyway, all right. Now, on our bi-weekly update, we want to make sure that we're touching base with you with all the important issues. Next online is the Super Tuesday.
okay,
How
good.
about that, right? And we believe there are lots of change in the situation for the past 2 weeks.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. So
So we have Super Tuesday and we have Super Tuesday 2, which was last night.
yeah, how about we move a little forward because we owe our audiences
Yeah.
for 2 more weeks.
Yes, sir.
From the time when Mike Bloomberg
Right.
walked off,
Wow.
and then Elizabeth Warren.
Elizabeth is gone.
Oh, yeah.
Buttigieg is gone, the mayor.
Yeah. So how about that? Let's talk about Michael Bloomberg.
Yeah, see, last time when they had a debate, they had about 6 people on the stage, okay, including Michael Bloomberg, who's a gentleman worth about $50 billion. That's a lot of money, more than you and I combined, and by 50 billion. And he put out, and he's going to spend $1 billion on trying to help the Democratic Party.
That's 1/5. No,
Well-
the 1/50th.
Yeah, well, oh, yeah, right. We can afford it. I mean, you can't spend that
afford
kind
it,
of
yeah.
money. And he put out really strong ads, okay, advertisements. I mean, like hundreds of millions of dollars. But then when he got on the stage in the first debate, he proved which people like President Trump and other people said he's not a strong debater. He was a poor debater. And he wasn't forceful. And then what destroyed Elizabeth Warren is she just destroyed Michael Bloomberg. She just called him every kind of all these terrible things. Okay, so he just went down in stature because he was not a convincing or powerful debater. He was sort of like a quiet, submissive person.
However,
And he got
Michael
creamed.
Bloomberg has spent lots of campaign money, and on my cell phone, every time there goes advertising, that was his.
See, that's a big thing
And
you said.
I never thought he was backing off that soon, and he backs off that easily. And he did surrender.
He did surrender.
It looks almost right away at the peak, at the very top of the peak, he just declared, I'm out.
Yes, and now he has stated that he would support whoever their candidate is with lots of money because he breathes to destroy President Trump. And so that's fine. They knew each other for years in New York City, okay? Trump's were there, Bloomberg's there, he was mayor.
And there goes the votes. There goes the votes.
Well, it's
the
good.
votes will go to the remainders.
Probably to Biden.
To Biden?
Probably to Biden, yeah.
Okay. What caused Elizabeth Warren to back off?
Well, you know, she was so radically, she was almost farther left than Bernie Sanders. Not quite, but very radically left. And to me, what's happened in these Super Tuesdays and last night, where Biden won 4 out of the 6 primaries, okay, and Sanders won 2, is that, and I'm happy to say this, two things. Number one, Bernie's supporters are mostly 35 or 30 years and younger. The younger people that have been brainwashed through our education system that America is evil and capitalism evil and white people are evil, okay? That's what they've been brainwashed on. So, but they didn't come out in the numbers to vote for Bernie like he was hoped for and expected. Now, they're young, they haven't, right now, the good thing is millennials are getting jobs because there's jobs available. And once you have a job and you're accumulating wealth or surviving in a nice lifestyle, you're not a radical socialist anymore. Because they want just free.
There's one saying that Elizabeth Warren does not even have a campaign slogan, or at least strong, recognizable campaign slogan.
Well, but she was a radical leftist wanting a wealth tax. Like, you make a lot of money, they just want to take it back. You've already paid taxes on it,
She
Jack.
and Bernie Sanders, who is more left?
Well, I believe Bernie's more of a communist than he is a Russian communist than he is a socialist. I believe he is.
All right.
And so so they didn't come out to vote for him. So then what happened is you had Buttigieg, you had Warren, you had the other lady, whatever her name is, and Bloomberg. They all dropped out. Now, and they've all now then endorsed Biden. Nobody's endorsing.
For the past 2 months, though, it looks like a
Bernie
situation that every week there's one dropping off. Right.
Yeah.
Prior to
There was too many before.
To Bloomberg.
Yeah.
You remember Andrew Young?
Oh yeah, no, he wanted to give
Andrew
everybody
Young was
$1,000 a month.
Andrew Young was a very, very strong one.
Well, sort of. Now he's begging
Sort
to
of.
be vice
At
president.
least Andrew Young. Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, he's begging Biden to.
Okay, all right, good. So at least Andrew Young is more vocal than.
Quite a bit more vocal.
Than Elizabeth.
And Bloomberg. Yeah.
Elizabeth is too quiet.
He
to
was
be
a good
debater.
talker. He was a
All
good
right,
talker.
Anyway, now.
But his
now,
philosophy.
Looking at the picture remaining, though, we're talking about.
Two people.
Am I safe? Am I safe? I'm saying that it's going to be a match between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders.
That's very safe. The only thing that may change it is after Bernie Sanders was lost 4 out of 6 last night, and now the delegate difference is about 150 approximately between them. Very impossible, almost not impossible, but improbable that Bernie can catch up. Because then superdelegates, when they get to the Democrat convention, they're all Democratic National Committee related. They're all going to vote for
Looking
for
at
Biden.
those who backed out before him, though, and they always lose a debate, and the next day they come on stage say, "I back off."
Well,
right?
it's
I
possible,
drop.
like
Right.
while we're doing this
Is it
show,
yeah.
Bernie Sanders is talking to the
Yeah. That's exactly my asking.
He might drop out today.
Yeah. Is that possible that he say, "I'm dropping off now"?
Well, he did say in over the weekend in a discussion show that he's not a masochist, that he doesn't want to just be punished and endure the humiliation of So it's kind of what they're talking about is how could he be a distinguished loser? How can he lose in an acceptable way that doesn't demean his?
And a glorious loser.
Yeah,
A glorious loser. Yeah.
Now,
right.
socialism is never
You
glorious.
did make some point, however, Americans, all depends, Americans accept him or not.
Well, and they're not.
There's another saying.
They're not.
That even if with the picture looking so clear that he is going to lose to Biden,
Yeah.
so that as a wise guy, he would probably gloriously drop off, there's a saying that he could declare running as an independent.
Oh, well, I haven't heard
Do
that.
you think? Yeah.
Yeah, it won't do anything.
It was a comment this morning.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well,
You know who would be great for?
who?
President Trump. Because then that would take whatever voters went to Biden. Now, some of Bernie Sanders last time even went to President Trump because they just didn't like Hillary, okay? And so, that would be great because that would bifurcate the votes in the Democratic candidate, and Trump would, I think he's going to kill whoever it is, in terms of victory.
Yeah, we're talking
But who
about,
knows? Anything can
I'm
happen.
talking about with the votes that he collected,
Yeah.
with the drop-offs,
Yeah.
right? And then he probably have a big power of supporting either Donald Trump or Joe Biden?
Well, he's indicated that if Biden is the candidate, he will support him. But now also, he's trying to be sure that he pleases his supporters and doesn't drop out too early, so they think he just kind of gave up too early. So maybe he goes, because there's a big, I think Biden and Bernie have a debate coming up. And one of the silly things of this, I guess, is they will allow Biden to sit down. He doesn't feel like standing up as long anymore. I don't either, by the way, so I'm not criticizing him, but they both ought to sit down.
We all respect elders. Okay,
Yeah,
my
right.
dear friends.
He's older than us.
Let's take a moment out. We come back to continue. Stay with us.
It's called James. I host English news every morning.
And the Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to the show Jack Chow on the bi-weekly of the East-West show with Mr. Ken Hemming, a dear friend of mine and political commentator and a philosopher and author of a wonderful book, Life Simple, 100 Rules to Live By, and a commentator for my bi-weekly update show. And I believe that he has a keen eye, kind of a keen eye of looking at things, especially when he is on the right. I'm in the middle. I used to be on the left, and right now I'm in the middle. Well, we probably can bring, yes, sir. Thank you.
We're
for
getting
doing
closer.
That. Yeah, we're getting closer. You're winning me bit by bit.
And hopefully with facts and
All right,
truth.
good. Anyway, you wish.
I hope.
All right,
I do.
Go. So we hope to bring you a relatively fair picture of what's going on. Speaking of what's going on with the Wuhan coronavirus, we're talking about lots of cancellations. Cancellation meaning local community event cancellation or country big thing cancellation, and we even include as big as Olympic. Of course, not canceled yet. So how do you consider or value the fact of cancellation, please?
Well, I would say that perhaps I'm wrong, but philosophically, I think we're overreacting, canceling things that don't need to be canceled. And we've had approximately 1,000 people in America that have indications on the virus, and of course they get over it. Most of them are getting over it. We've had about 35 or 40 deaths, half of which were at one old person's type home, whatever you call it, a care facility up in Washington. So it was all in one place that everybody got hurt badly. So, I mean, the ramifications, okay, like they're talking about having National Basketball Association games without any fans. Well, the most important player in the National Basketball Association is LeBron James, and he said, I play for the fans. Without fans, I'm not playing. Cancel the season.
There was a marathon.
The New York Marathon?
Marathon, and in Los Angeles too, right?
Canceled.
Los Angeles was
Right.
canceled.
Yeah, and you got 25,000 people or something running.
Yeah.
And they're not touching and
But
hugging each other.
New York Marathon
Yeah.
was scheduled to be on. Right?
Yeah. Was that run? I forget. Okay, but yes.
That was last Sunday, was
It
it?
was last Sunday, yeah. I think,
last
okay,
Sunday,
thank you, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
So
You heard nothing negative
cancellation,
about it?
not cancel. No.
Right.
It was still too early. You never know.
Well, no, that's absolutely true.
Especially when you run a marathon thing, you pant.
Yeah, they're saying that
You're panting like crazy.
they're
right?
saying that the vaccine, as being breathed, when it's breathed, can last in the atmosphere about 3 minutes. So
Yeah, exactly.
So you could breathe
Exactly.
somebody else's.
Especially when you're running, you pant like crazy.
Yeah,
Right?
you do.
So that gives you extra chance
Right.
of contaminating the air, which helps the spread of disease.
And I think it's very unhealthy for the country to really kind of be brought to its knees. It's only been located in a certain number of states, North Dakota, whatever. There's different states have not been hit whatsoever, and I think it's an overreaction. Only time will tell if I'm right or wrong.
But there's other words saying that nobody is okay. Say Montana, for example.
Right.
Right. So
Big state,
you
not
have
many
never,
people.
Never heard any case of Montana.
Right.
All of a sudden, a guy who has the virus goes there
For vacation
and
and-
shake hands
Right.
with the people
Right.
and hug people and to take a coffee in the coffee shop and to get gasoline in the gasoline station
Right.
on it, and then
It could be there.
Montana is no
Yeah.
longer safe.
But now, if you really wash your hands for 20 seconds really well, many times a day, even if you shook hands with somebody, you're not going to get it.
All right, you're talking
And
about
keep your
protection.
hands off your
I'm
face.
talking about cancellation.
Right.
This morning I heard in the news about Hungary, the country of Hungary.
Oh, okay.
The minister.
I didn't hear this.
The prime minister of Hungary
Yeah.
declared the whole country into emergency
Why?
Right.
How many cases
because
do
they
they
have
have there?
discovered cases. Right now, with the restriction, very serious restriction countrywide, it stops the incoming from several countries, including America, China, Korea, South Korea, and Japan.
Now, maybe the good news is China and South Korea both say, and I don't know who to believe, honestly, that there haven't been new cases in the last 2 days reported.
I wish.
I pray. Yeah.
I wish.
I do too.
Sooner or later, it's going to go that way.
It will.
However,
Maybe
where
warmer
we
weather,
are,
maybe not.
Where we are is the
Yeah, right, is what
question to
counts,
ask, right?
yeah.
Now, and the Hungarian restriction says no get-together of over 100
Yeah, right.
under one roof.
Right. Yeah.
Under one roof.
I know.
And no get-together
They're doing
of
that.
500 over 500 in the open.
Yeah. I think it's goofy, but that's okay.
Namely, they kind of canceled everything.
They canceled the Coachella Music Festival, which has got 200,000-300,000
Yeah.
people go to it,
Yeah.
and they're all outside. They're not hugging each other.
I
You
know,
can buy
I
a
know.
beer. So I think it's unnecessary. However, it's what they're doing, and I don't know who I'd get it, who I'd catch it from. I mean, I'm not. But now maybe somebody I run into and then shake hands with them or something. But I am washing my hands a lot more than I ever did before, and it's kind of fun.
In Italy, the same way. Even though
Italy's
with the restrictions,
way better than
Yeah,
America.
yeah.
Much worse.
I mean,
They're a
even with the
disaster.
pandemic, even with the epidemic, so
Yeah.
worse than in the United States. But people kind of like, they I don't know if they're acting. They look easy.
Well, here's the point,
Guy
Jack.
asks about the fears. Fear?
The
Fear what?
people that die of it are older people with health issues. The young people, the young people, the kids, they don't really
Yeah,
get it
even
much.
the young-
But if
No,
you're
no,
in
no.
good shape,
Yeah.
in your 40, 50, you're in good shape, physical shape, and no health issues like, the 3 or 4 things they say.
I saw a guy.
You're not gonna die.
I saw an older guy being interviewed on Strait of Milan.
Yes, sir.
And it says fear. Fear for what?
I agree with them.
Fear for what?
I don't live in fear.
Right? I'm happy. I drink beer, I walk, I take my wife. And well, if I die, I die. I die only once. I live only once. I die only once.
And the chances of him really getting it and dying are incredibly tiny.
So
I'm not changing my life, but I'll change maybe hygiene.
cancellation, when you have a strong medical reason,
Yeah.
of course, go ahead with
See,
it.
now one interesting thing, there was a big meeting, CPAC, which is the Conservative Political Action Group, okay? And like some of our senators and other politicians were there, and they were shaking hands with people, and one of the people there did test positive, so like 5 of our top flight politicians are isolating, stayed at home for 14 days, and if they're fine, they're fine.
Yeah,
But they're
you
just
speak
doing it out of care.
Speaking of
Isolation.
isolating or separating.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Social separation.
Be it a division, be it separation, be it whatever, even quarantine.
Yeah.
And the easiest way is to prevent handshaking.
Well, and so people are doing this. They're,
Yeah.
they're making a joke out of it, kicking each other's shoe, and now it's kind of cute.
And in
But
China,
that's
they
true.
do this. The old time, they do this.
Yeah, with their own hands.
Yeah, with their own hands.
Yeah, and that, yeah,
And I
right.
say, all my
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
And best of five, all my best.
And some
that.
people are wearing gloves, blue gloves. You know, that's a little silly stuff that in the hospital, which is fine. So there's a lot of ways. Yeah, yeah, and
The
but
cancellation hurts people, though.
it hurts
And
society.
they are talking about the
hugely.
cancellation of Tokyo Olympic.
Is see, here's what I do then. I think about 2,000 or whatever that participated in it. They've worked their whole life to get into that. If it's canceled and the next Olympics isn't for 4 more years, most of them wouldn't be in the same competitive belly. That's a tragedy.
But the WHO declares
Today.
that unless they find something negative by end of May,
Okay.
they will continue to hold on in Tokyo.
Yeah. Good. You know, it's really, wow. I don't know what to say. Basically,
That's going to hurt Japan heavily.
hurt the world.
Heavily.
They got
because,
billions invested in their
because
stadiums and their planning.
Billions of yuan invested.
Well, just
there.
like the
All of
Indian
a
Wells
sudden,
tennis
nobody
tournament, I was
coming.
going to be there next week.
Yeah.
That got canceled. All of these world-class top 50 tennis players in the world go to that. And Larry Ellison, who happens to be, $50 billion, but our tickets, he's willing to refund the money. So that's good. That's nice. It's reasonable. And then nobody can sue him because he just kept the money.
I have a friend who is planning to do his own concert, April 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yeah.
And he called me, he canceled it.
Yeah.
Anyway, my dear friend, what happens bad enough is bad enough. And we just keep our fingers crossed, say nothing worse will happen.
That's right.
We'll work from that point on to bring the situation better and better. Hopefully soon we will be back to our normal life. To all of you, thank you very much for watching. And to my friend,
Thank
brother
you.
Ken,
And your
thank
viewers.
you for being with me.
Love you so much.
Love you.